Hey, it's Andy's Free Guitar Chart Videos here. I'm making a lesson today because yesterday's lesson was kind of befuddled. And when I watched it through, I realized I had made a mistake. So I added this part of the chart to correct that. The I'm sorry's are on the Facebook post in Andy's Free Guitar Chart Videos group. So let's just look one more time at chart 250, open chord zone, long patterns, G string pattern shortcut. Okay, now there's something interesting about the tuning warp between the G and the B string here. Now you notice here, this is in a G and a B. With mine, it's an E flat and a G on top. Okay, that's because I'm down tuned 2 whole notes. So 2 whole notes down from the G string is a E flat string. 2 whole notes down from the E string is a C, right? 2 whole notes down from the second string would be the G string, right? And 2 whole notes down from the B string would be a G string. So yesterday we had some problems, but we got through it kind of brute force, and today I'm kind of hoping we're going to have a little bit of an easier time of it. And that's important because the task at hand is easier when you kind of take it easy explaining it and we're not struggling to get this stuff out. So this involves what had happened yesterday. Moving any pattern up goes in string shape fourths. The B string will either be the string shape fourth of the top bottom defining pattern string shape, or else the 5th note of the extra long patterns. Now that's an interesting thing, because in string shapes, if a string is below another string, it's the 4th of it. So here's the C string shape, okay, and also on top the C string shape 3, 4, 5, or E, F, G. So below the string below that is the E string shape, aliased on down there. Now the top 2 strings aren't always aliased, I found that out. Okay, in the E long pattern they are aliased, but let's look at the E long pattern. So on the top they are aliased. Aliased means they're just the same fingering if they were done individually. Not like one going to the next one. That's a different fingering. But so if we have here root 2, 3, and we have on the top root 2, 3, then what's below it, okay, is pretty much the 4th string shape. But in strings, raw strings, if I'm talking about root as being a root note, there's no string shape that's called root. The string shapes are C, G, D, A, E. Those are the string shapes, okay? C, D, C, G, D, A, E, A, E, C. Okay, those are the string shapes. So we probably have them right here. We didn't put them on this diagram. Okay, so Just a little word about aliasing there. Use it if you can, you know. So what I need to explain to you today is what we just played. So here's the old way of playing it with the long patterns: root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2. Now these are string shapes right here. 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5. And you know, you can do the E pattern away from the fret nut with all string shapes. It'd just be 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root 2. Those are all string shapes, and look at the top string shape is an E string shape. The fourth of E is an A string shape. So the B string takes the fourth of the top string, which is the E string. So that will help us remember how to do this. So I'm sorry I made a mistake yesterday. 3 times out of 4 I said that the this string was going to be the 5th, and then I realized, well, wait a minute, by strings it is the 5th, because when you tune your guitar, the top string's in E, then the B string's a B. That is the 5th of E. But that was the problem was just slightly more complicated, and it kind of folded back on itself, and I was able to just, you know, watch through and wonder if it was going to make any sense at all. So I'm making today's lesson and talking for an hour instead of, you know, doing something else for an hour. And so one thing to remember is, let's look at this situation here. So we're going to play this A long pattern. We have a fret nut here. Notice we have a well-established fret nut right here. So that's a fret nut or the capo, but not the finger, because your finger you can remove and play the lower notes. Nothing is playable below these open strings, open notes. So these are the open notes. Okay. With the A shape's easy because it does the whole long pattern. Okay, so it's 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, you know, it's like, it would be like if you had Mr. Capo on the A note, on the G here, actually. Why would, if I'm going to play an A pattern, why would I put the capo on the 5th in the key of C? Because when you play the real deal A down here, this is your fret nut, the real deal A here, that's A, like A440A, that E becomes the 5th. So if I put the capo up here, okay, now I have an A shaped C. The G is the 5th of C. So we're looking at the A long pattern here. 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now instead of going into an S4 E there, which is this is an E string shape right here. Sorry, I missed it. Right there, you go 5, 6, 7, root 2. Okay, so 7 root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 root. Okay, 2, 3, 4. That's 4 string shapes right there. Okay, that was the 2, 3, 4 was the D string shape. But instead of doing string shapes there, we want to do the short string shape. So we go 5, 6, 7, root 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7 root. We're going to cut out of that and go into the original pattern if it was string shapes, or whatever it is. It could be long ones. So the top should have been a long one, and actually in actuality it is. There's nothing wrong with, look at the 7 is there kind of haunting us. There's nothing wrong with playing the long pattern there. So the A, I could, you know, fix that on the chart. I would do